Hello friends, and welcome back to Little Monkeys and Me. This is episode 14. So if you don't know me, I am Fernanda, and I have this little podcast and the internet where I share mostly knitting, but I also like other crafts, so sometimes other things do show up. But today it's all about the knitting. It's all about the Christmas knitting. I am drinking some hot chocolate, so if you want to join me with a hot beverage and a little bit of knitting chat. So let's start. We've had a busy 3 weeks, I think. It wasn't quite a month since our last podcast. And my youngest son turned 5. I will share some pictures. He wanted a blue birthday. My husband's birthday was 2 days before his birthday. And so we got to celebrate both of them. We also celebrated Thanksgiving here in the United States, so we got to actually have family from out of town join us, and that was excellent. We had a lot of fun together, and they left this morning, so I figured it is time to record because tomorrow my youngest brother, his wife, and my niece, who's 2 years old, are getting here. I have not met her in person, my niece. I have not had the pleasure to hold her and kiss her. So I am dying to see her. They're gonna be here for solid 2 weeks, and we're gonna exchange gifts, things I've made them, and all that fun stuff because they're not gonna be here during Christmas time. So am I excited? I am dying to be truthful. I am dying to see them and to get to really meet her. She knows who I am. We talk over FaceTime and things, but it is not quite the same. I'm sorry. We've had a little bit of a cold going in our family this past week, but nothing big. So we're all good. We're all in the mend. And let's start. I think that was the chatty bit. We will have knitting. I have some whips. I am wearing my shallography, as you can see, which I love. I have been wearing this nonstop. It is so warm. The Brie Alpaca, yes, I'm a little allergic to it. Does it stop me from wearing it? No. So I still wear it, and it's very, very warm. So, and it's been quite cold here in North Carolina. And what I mean quite cold, I mean like 30s and 40s. That's cold for me. Once it's below 50, that's too cold for me. So yes. What else do I have? I have a few acquisitions. I did forget to show you a few things last time. So I haven't actually bought anything since last time. So anything that I do get in the mail, I think I have a few, maybe 2 or 3 things coming in the mail, but those are things that I bought like a while back. So I have not bought anything for at least a month, probably. So I'm excited. I have plenty of things to do and plenty of things to make. So let's go ahead and start. I will start with these. So last time I had one done, and I did finish the second one. And these are the Kuusijuhla. I don't speak Finnish. Sorry. Kuusijuhla. I hope that's close to it. This is from Anniina, and she is from Anniina Juuti Knits. Here on YouTube, she has a podcast, but she's also a beautiful designer. And I got to test knit these for her, and I love them. I talked about a lot about the yarn last time, but this is from Felicity Studios yarn. The dyer Zoe, which actually also has a podcast here, and I believe this colorway is Christmas jammies, and it came like this. So it came the red one and with a mini, which I think is called Christmas Tree. So I added to this, I added a little bit of this one, which is from Sewrella, and this is just 100% merino, superwash merino. And this color I think was called Mojito from the summer. And as you can see, left over from my shawlography, I have a little bit of the Brie Alpaca, and it is so fluffy and cute, and I thought it was perfect for this and for the ribs of the hat. And this is called Ceramic, I believe. The Brie Alpaca from Sewrella, it is exquisite. Plus, it is a finger weight, so technically you can make a hole in her, get something with the this. You don't have to hold it double with something else, but you can. I mean, if you held it double with something, it would give you a DK. Like if you do two fingering weights, then lots of possibilities there. I do like that it is fingering weight. So these are done. This was a great test knit. I follow the pattern to a T, except for I changed the heel. I wanted to do a Iron Partridge heel, and this is perfect because these were my November socks. If you don't know, if this is your first time here, well, first of all, welcome. I always forget a million things. I talk too much, but I don't say all the things that I want to say. Imagine if I did, then this would be even longer. But I do, like always, I will link these because these already are out. So I will link these to the Ravelry, like to her Ravelry shop. So then if you want to get them, they're there. The links are always below. There's a little arrow right here. If you click it, it will give you my show notes. And if you can't see all the show notes, underneath it will say show more, and you click that and it will, because it's long, I try to link everything I talk about, either the makers or the dyers, anything that I talk about, I try to link it, and especially patterns and all those things. Also, my information is down below, my Instagram, my Ravelry. I don't use Ravelry a whole lot for messages. If you message me there is a chance that it will take a little bit longer for me to respond. I do try to check, but not very often. And then my email, you can also email me. I do try to check that often. And definitely over on Instagram, that's where you can find me the most. So these are the Kuusijuhla socks. And I really do try. And these are lovely. They're perfect. You don't use a whole lot of the contrasting yarns. I would say 2 grams of like the green maybe. All the minis, I would say, or the contrasting yarns, I would say less than 10 grams. So definitely perfect for a stash buster. And I'm excited to wear these tomorrow because tomorrow December starts. So I get to start wearing my Christmas socks. This was my first FO. Now, my second FO is this one. I showed you, I think, last time. So let me show you right here. Look, maybe you can see it better. I don't know. Last time I showed you, I love how pretty this looks. I love the little curls of these crescent shawls. So this is Spindrift by Helen Stewart. And it is a perfect one skein shawl. I have about this much left. And this is another Sewrella. This is actually the same color that I'm, which was my A color here for my shawlography. But this is another skein. I don't think it wouldn't have been enough because I think I had either a little bit less than 50 grams of this left. And as you can see, I only have this left over of the new skein. So I had 2 skeins of these. And this is from my grandma. So it's perfect because my brother lives in Utah and my grandma lives in Utah. So I will send this back with them for her. And it's kind of like a Christmas present, and just I wanted to make something for her for a long time. And a one skein shawl, it's a perfect gift. I love how this one fits. It is fast and easy. There's a lot of stockinette, as you can see. This is all stockinette, and then you have a tiny bit of of yarn overs that give it a fun little look. I've made, this is my third Spindrift, and it's definitely, for me, it's a go-to pattern when you have a beautiful skein of yarn that you just have one of. You can use sock yarn for this. This is 100% superwash merino, but it does not have nylon. So this is the Spindrift for my grandma. Sorry if I'm talking too fast, but I finished 8 things, but the rest of them are Christmas gifts. So if you are family, then you need to stop watching, because, and I'll put a time code down here, and then you can jump to that one. I also put timestamps in my show notes. So if you want to jump around, or if there's something specific that you want to talk about, then you can go look. So let's continue. I will go with any of them, I guess. I will go with my mother-in-law socks. So for my mother-in-law, I was thinking, well, I wanted to make her some socks because she does love socks, and these are it. I love self-striping socks, and I love ones that give you also a little bit of not just stripes, but gives you a pattern. So these ones are from Flotte sock, and the colorway, it's 2701. Flotte sock. I don't know if that's exactly how you say it, but I think it might be a German company. I was able to find it on Etsy, and it was sold here. Somebody here in the US was selling it, because otherwise it's just too expensive to get it shipped here. But yeah, it was great because I was looking for something like this, like opal, and this feels a lot like an opal, and yeah, it feels a lot like opal yarn. So, and it was wonderful. I am happy. Everyone loved them. So maybe next year I will buy some other colorways so I can make the rest of my family some socks, because apparently they all liked them. So yeah, these are it. So these are for my mother-in-law. I do them in 2.25s. I do 56 stitches for her. I do 20 rounds of ribbing. The ribbing is 2x2s. Then I do 60 for the leg. I do heel flap and gusset. I like to do the Eye of Partridge heel. I didn't mind if I broke the stripes at all. So I turn the heel, I pick up gussets, and then I count the next 60 for her foot. And then I do a wedge toe, where that you decrease every other row. And I believe I go down until you have 14 stitches on each needle. I think so. I do until I have 16 stitches in each needle, but I think for her I do 14 stitches in each needle. And that's kind of my vanilla sock recipe for her. It works if they fit perfectly. The last time I showed you another pair that of opal yarn that I had used, she loved them and they fit perfect. So I know that these ones will fit her absolutely perfectly, and I'm so excited to do it, to give it to him. So hopefully she likes them. And I have some leftover that I might make my youngest son his Christmas gift, because I'm making, well, you'll see, I'm making everyone some Christmas socks except my husband. Oh man, maybe I'll have to add him to I thought I was almost done with Christmas making, and now I'm like, oh, maybe my husband would want some. Not this one, because there's not enough to make him a pair, but definitely enough to make my youngest a pair. So let me show you, actually, let me show you my youngest son's his Christmas, not Christmas, his birthday socks. So these ones have been worn and washed because he loved them so much. I had to take them away from him and be like, it's been enough days. We need to wash them. And then he's like, and then you have to block them. So my husband was like, whoa, even our kids know that you're knitting lingo. I'm like, yeah, they're learning. So these ones, as you can see, are done with some fun colors. It is Kroy socks. This is Patons Kroy socks, and the colorway is Clover colors. And I didn't know exactly how I was going to knit up, but I loved all the colors and how it looked, and then it knit up beautifully. I was able to find the repeat, which at the beginning I thought there was no repeat. I thought it was just going to be completely random, but there was a repeat, and I was able to find it so they completely match, which always brings happiness into my life if I can match the socks. He loved them. I did these with a very tight gauge because if you have knitted with Patons Kroy, you have noticed that even though it says it is a fingering weight, I feel like they're more like a sport weight. They are thicker. They're thicker than these, and they're thicker than definitely than hand-dyed yarn. So even though it says fingering, I feel like they're not. And yeah, I guess one day I could, count and check the gauge, but I just for feel. But my son, I had made a pair of socks, I don't know, last year maybe, and he said they were too loose. He didn't like them. He never wears them. He's waiting to grow into them. He says when I get bigger, I'll wear them, because he likes them, but he doesn't like that they move too much, and I don't blame him. They are a little, even though they were the right size and everything, they're just not tight enough for him. So I wanted to make these tight enough. So I made these on size US 0, which I believe that is a size 2 millimeters. Yeah, just 2 millimeters. And then I did 44 stitches for him. I only did a 10 round rib by 2x2s. 2x2 is my favorite. If I know a lot of people, they love 1x1, which I don't mind. I don't think it's ugly, but 2x2 is my favorite. I don't know why. Maybe because I can get a better rhythm. I just love the look of it too. So I do 2x2s, and then I don't remember. I think I do have my book here though. Yeah. So this is my pattern. Well, this is like my knitting book, but I have not. Look how fat it is, because I do put pieces of yarn in it. I have not written in it for months, and if you've been watching for a while, you know that in a month a lot of projects can get done. I finished lots of things, so the longer I take to update it, the longer it's gonna take me to update it, because I have so many things to remember. I haven't even put up a new picture on Instagram lately, which means I haven't even taken a lot of pictures of finished objects. I need to do that. I've been busy. Family, it's been fun. Family always comes first to me, so that's kind of how it is. But let me tell you what I did. But I did write down on the back of the book. It's super messy. I have written down a little bit of kind of like recipes for different family members, because I do like knitting for a lot of family members. So since I haven't actually like written a project, like a proper project page for each one of my projects here, I kind of just wrote down really quick recipe. So for my youngest son, I did 2 millimeters, 44 stitches. I did 10 rounds of 2x2 rib, and then I did 25 rounds for the leg. For the heel, I did heel flap and gusset, so I did 18 rows of that, and I picked up 11 stitches on the side. And then I did 40 rounds for the foot, and I decreased until I had 8 stitches on each needle, and I kitchenered the foot and the toe. So that's kind of what I did, and that's really like the quick recipe. I was just making it as I went. I've made enough socks now that it sounded right. Let me find a place for this. It sounded right, and then even though it was supposed to be a surprise, I told him I was making something for somebody else and I just needed to check him, but he had his eyes closed. He was quite surprised when he was still surprised. He turned 5, by the way. He can't believe I have my youngest is 5. It's a bittersweet moment, I think, when they turn 5. They're so much older for some reason. Well, at least they feel so much older for me. Let me have a drink. But yeah, he loved them, and now I need to make him some Christmas socks, and I can give these back to him because now they're all dried. I washed a bunch of socks, many that I've blocked for gifts, and many that needed to be washed from family because it's getting cold now, so we're all wearing woolly socks. So these are birthday socks for my baby. All right, let me just, oh, and this is how much I had left over from the one. I bought 2 balls because they're only 50 grams, and I have this much left over of this one, and I have this much. I think with that I can get a pair for my daughter, because hers have to be just a bit bigger. That's it, because she's 8. So that is what I used. So let's move on. These are the Christmas socks for my oldest. He's 11, and his foot just pretty much the size of mine. So his I do very similar to my husband's. This is a vanilla sock. So this yarn, let's talk about the yarn. This was given by a viewer, a lovely viewer. Her name is Andy, and she contacted me a long time ago, probably towards the beginning. It was like this summer, no, it was like spring. So it was like the beginning of my podcast, and she asked me if I liked blue, and I said yes. And also I have plenty of people in my family who love blue. And she said she had a skein from this Harry Potter club that she had that she knew she wasn't gonna knit up. She wanted to give it to me. So that was a while back, and I had saved that skein the moment my oldest son saw it. Plus it was called Godfather, and it is by, let me tell you, because I don't have the rest of the skein. I gave it to my sister-in-law. She really liked it, and so before they left from out of town or go back home, I gave it to her because she liked it, and I figured, well, you can have it. It came with a mini of 20 grams. Let me tell you what it is. Freckled Whimsy, and the color was Godfather. It was 100 grams, 75-25, and it came with a 20 mini. So the mini was this blue, like the heel, the cuff, heel, and toes, which is really similar to the blue that is striped. It's the same color, so it looks really nice. And these are definitely colors that my son likes, and he's gonna love it. He's gonna be so excited that, because every time he would see it, he's like, Mom, I really want you to make me socks in that colorway. And every time I said, well, that's my yarn, somebody gave it to me. But in reality, in my mind, I knew I was gonna give it to him. I tried to match as much as possible, and I think I did a good job. So far, they've all matched almost completely, which of course brings me happiness. Silly things like that, but they do make me happy. For my son, 60 stitches into, but this one is 2.5. So 2.5, I do 60 stitches. I did 50 for the leg, and then 60 for the foot. Yeah, and that's kind of my recipe for my son. And he's like as tall as me, pretty much. He's like almost there, almost there. All right, so let's talk about my sister-in-law. So they're gonna be here any second. And last time I showed you this yarn, so let me show you. So the main color, it's this one from Hedgehog Fibers, and it's called Ginny. And the contrasting color for it, so I did cuffs, heels, and toes. It was another 100-gram skein from Hedgehog Fibers, and this one is called, let me look it up because I cannot remember, Fly. So Fly and Genie. This color, oh, I absolutely love it. I mean, look how it knit up. It did great. I don't really see like terrible pooling. Plus they're socks. I think they turn out so beautiful. These ones are blocked. I love the way blocked socks look. I know that you don't have to block them, but then again, when I do a lot of hand washing of socks, and like the woolly socks that I make, and then I lay them flat to dry, so that's pretty much blocking. So in these ones, this is what I did. These ones did not go in. I do not have enough. I only have 2 sets of sock blockers, so I did not have enough to block all the socks. I mean, I think I had over 10 pairs of socks blocking or more. My husband's like, there's socks everywhere. But you know, we need to get them all pretty. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna, well, I have an idea of how I'm gonna wrap them, which I'll make a little video later showing if it works out. So yeah, these ones are it. For her, I did the same as my mother-in-law, except in 2.5s. Oh, I don't remember now. It might have been in 2.25s, but I did 56. I know that I did 56 stitches, 60 for the legs, 60 for the foot, and I really hope they fit. Yeah, I think I did 2.25s. I made them exactly like my mother-in-law. I did not ask my brother how, you know, I haven't seen her in a few years, but obviously I don't think I've noticed how big her feet are. But they're pretty average, and so I'm guessing this will fit. If it doesn't fit, I'll be so sad, and I'll just have to make her some other socks and send it to her, which, you know, not terrible. My mother-in-law would get socks. So yeah, so this were so fun. I have Partridge heel like always. That's my favorite. Mostly, I mean, one, I think it looks really pretty, and second, it gives a very simple vanilla sock a little bit of a interest, and also interest when you're knitting, because they're fun to make, I think. So that's for my sister-in-law. And then for my brother, her husband, I did the same colors but opposite. So his Fly was the main color, and then the Genie color was the contrasting colors for him. For him, I made it a little bit shorter. I think I did 50. So I did 64 stitches for him. Yeah, 64 stitches in 2.5s. And then 50 for the leg, and then 80 for the foot, and then I did decrease for the toe because he has bigger feet. So he doesn't have super big feet, but out of everyone in the family, he has the biggest one. So if for my husband I made 70, for my dad I make 70, and for my brother I make 70, I figured 80 should do it. And I tried it on my husband, and it was a little bit big, but not terribly. So let's hope that they fit. I mean, they're socks, I do give a little. So yeah, so that's that one. As you can see, I have been busy making a lot of socks, and yeah, a lot of socks. And I have this left over because, oh, I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. Let me have a drink. All right, maybe I'll be okay. My daughter liked my sister-in-law socks all along, and I had enough to make her some too. So these are for my 8-year-old, my daughter, the same way that I made my sister-in-law's, except for the fact that, you know, they're shorter and smaller. And for her, oh boy, did I write hers down? Yes, I did, but it's on my phone. I want to say I did them also in 2.25s. I did 52 stitches? No. 52 stitches, maybe? And then I did I want to say about 30 for the leg, and I did 50 for the foot. And she also tried them on. They're not going to be huge surprises, but she kind of saw me knitting. So I knitted these while I was during Thanksgiving time. So this past week we had family in town. My sister-in-law, she crochets and knits. I taught her how to make socks this way. She's only made a few socks and they were toe up. So I was like, and she wanted to learn from me. So we went looking for some yarn and some needles, and she made herself one sock and she's working on the other one. And she also spins, so she had been spinning fiber while we talked, and then she also knitted, and we got to hang out, and it was so nice to just knit and sit and knit. Well, sit, knit, and talk, which are my 3 favorite things. Spending time with family, so perfect. So these ones are perfect, and I still have a little bit left. I don't think that's enough to make my youngest son some socks. That's why I'm not going to, because he could have had, the same as my brother, and he probably would have found it really cool to kind of be the opposite with his sister. But I don't think this is enough. I think the contrasting might be maybe for like cuffs and toes, but this is not a whole but this is not a whole lot. Oh my goodness, I'm falling apart. So that's that. Is that all the socks that I have to talk about? Yes. So that's a lot of socks. I'm still not sick of them. But I am excited to make some socks for me. I have to pick, well, I already picked, and I'll show you in acquisitions what's going to be my December sock, but I'm gonna make more than one pair for myself because I do have some Christmas yarn that I want to use. So that is what I have for finished objects. I think we went through really quickly, and that's my finished object. Those were my finished objects. So let's move on to whips because I am excited. I have lots to talk about my whips. Let me start with a test knit that I am still working on for my friend Brie from Doodlebug Yarn Company, or Doodle Yarn Co. And it is her Alpaca My Knit Mitt. So I only have one, and I made so I hope that you can see it. I'm trying to hide my face. That's why I'm trying to hide so then it can focus, but if I don't get a good shot, then I'll do a cutaway kind of shot. But these are it. These are not blocked yet. I only have one because she was doing her test call. I did it, and then I had to get a lot of other knitting done. But we got a lot of the kinks out, and we figured lots of stuff out as I worked. I know Magda is also doing, she also worked on this, and this is the child size, which is the small. And this will fit actually they're gonna be for my youngest son, my 5-year-old, but they also fit my 8-year-old. So, you have a good range. They're not huge on my 5-year-old, and they fit fine on my 8-year-old. So it's perfect. They can both share if they need to. So it is lovely, as you can see. Not to mention, she's going to have yarn that her mother-in-law has an alpaca farm, and she's gonna have yarn and project bags that she has been making, and I believe with project stitch markers and progress keepers. Those are the words I was looking for. And she said that I think those also will go in like a little bundle if you want to get the whole set, if you want to knit this when the pattern is released, which I'm not sure exactly when it is. I think she's been super busy, so I understand. And we've been working on the test knit, and it's been lovely. I think this detail right here of like carrying that color through, it's beautiful. The little alpacas are so cute, and this color combination Well, I was looking for, it was a quick test knit, and I did not want to buy any yarn. I don't need to buy any yarn, but my stash is somewhat limited. So I had to kind of go with like, okay, I needed to see what 2 colors would go together so you could actually see the contrast. The contrast needed to be good enough. And this is totally giving me Gryffindor vibes. When I was picking the colors, it's funny because Magda picked hers first, and then she sent a picture with something similar as this, and she didn't like the color combination. I was like, that's a good color combination. I do have colors like that. So this one, it's Vino from Sewrella, and as you can see, it is leftover from my shawlography, and I still have plenty, especially to make the other mitten. And this one is Gold Rush, also by Sewrella, and this one was from their Taylor Swift collection. Sometimes it is nice to talk about the hand-dyed yarn and all, but if you want to go get the same colors, it's impossible because a lot of the small dyers, they only do they do collections, and they do, like, this one was from their fall in stock collection that they kept for about a few months. They just started showing the ones for winter, and this one was from pre-order for Taylor Swift. So this one is not, they're never gonna make this one again. But yeah, so I made these ones on 2 millimeters. I could not get gauge with her original gauge. Seems like she has a lot, like a tighter gauge than all of us. So I went down to 2 millimeters, and I'm fine. So that's a US 0, which is fine because, this is fingering weight, and I did make them in 9-inch. If I can make something in 9-inch circular, especially in color work like this, I will, because not having to worry about the floats on the side and for it to be really, really neat, it is so comfy, and I like using 9 millimeters. So that's what I did, and it worked out great. So now I do need to get to these, but for the test knit, I didn't have to have both of them done. I need to just have one, and I just need to do whatever I did with the other one. So, and these ones are not urgent because they're not Christmas gifts. So they will get done because my son reminds me all the time, do you block my mitten, or do you finish the other one? And the answer is no, the poor thing. They're being housed though on my Knitted Soiree Christmas bag. I think she was having a Black Friday sale. I don't know if that's happening anymore. Like, I don't know if it's going on still, but her bags, they're just lovely. They're a great size. I can fit about comfortably, I can fit 2 100 skeins. So 200 grams and a project comfortably in here, no problem. So that's my first whip. And is there anything else that I wanted to tell you? I think I told you everything about it, and I'll let you know when that pattern is actually out. Then let's talk about this other one. So this one is an interesting one because I haven't had a chance to work on it a whole lot. I casted it on, I don't know, soon after, probably after my last podcast, but then I had the million other things to make, so I had to. So this is all I have. It's ribbing, and it is done with Nutiden. So I am making the Juniper jacket. Yeah, Juniper jacket by Fabel Knitwear. I will put a picture up here. This one is done with fingering weight, but I did swatch way back when I first got these colorways, and I showed you these, and I told you I do have something in mind that I want to make, but I'll show you later what it is. Well, this is what it is. I don't have much. I have only this, and I still have probably like 2 inches more to go of ribbing. But here's the thing. I'm only using 1 strand at a time. It is, if you don't know about Nutiden is an unspun yarn, It is sold in plates, kind of like Plotuloppi. And Plotuloppi's plates are much thinner, like not as wide, so they're shorter. And I wound it up to a ball because it is easier to pull from it without breaking so much. This one, it's quite fragile and it breaks very easily, which is not a problem. You can just spit splice, you know, or you can go like that, and then you just, if you do it really hard, then it's back to normal. You can also use a little bit of spit or water, and that also will help it. And you just do it vigorously and it'll kind of come back together and you can keep going. Once it's knit up though, it's fine. I've made one more. I've made a shawl, if you remember the Kroy shawl, with Nutiden, and this is the colorway. I think this was back from the August collection, and I want to say this is called Ruagad, and it is a off-white, but it has a little bit of grays bits in it. Yeah, it's like an off-white, but once in a while you will get like some grays kind of embedded in it, and you can see it like close up, but I don't mind. This is the color I wanted, and I wanted to make the Juniper jacket for Christmas Eve. Now, if I was making this and fingering weight like normal yarn, and I wasn't knitting a million other Christmas things, I would have had it done already. But I do have to slow down knitting with Nutiden because you cannot hold the same tension. You have to be very gentle. Then it breaks, then you put it back together. But is it fun? Absolutely. That's why so many of us, we buy it, we make things with it. If it wasn't fun, and if we didn't love the project and how it ended and how it feels and the smell and all that, we wouldn't put ourselves through it. But it is a joy. For me, it's a joy to knit with it. Of course, somebody else may not enjoy it, but I do. So yesterday I was able to do one row because it was so late and I needed to go to bed. But this is my next kind of next thing that I need to focus on, because I do want to wear it. I have a dress that I want to wear with for Christmas Eve, for dinner, and then maybe for church that Sunday. And that means I need to get going. I have to make Christmas socks for my son, my youngest son. I kind of want to make a hat for my grandpa, because if I'm sending my grandma a shawl and it's gonna be around Christmas time, I need to make something for my grandpa. I started a hat a while back. The yarn, it's supposed to be worsted. I went with it as if it was worsted, and it turned out so big. The gauge is weird, so I'm gonna frog that. And this was supposed to be actually the hat for my brother, and it didn't work out, so I frogged that a whole idea and I went with something else, of course, as you saw. So I need to just count the gauge and come up with my own pattern and just do something that actually would fit him, because it's really soft and I think he would like it. But back to this is all I have, not a whole lot, but I did want to talk about it because it is a whip, and hopefully the next time that I see you it is done and that I wore it for Christmas. Would not be nice. So yeah, that's what it is. Oh, and for the green, you know, in the picture you saw that it had like little leaves, kind of like holly or something. I am doing it with Rua. Rua is, I don't think the camera is gonna quite pick it up, but it's a mossy green, like dark mossy green. So I bought this with the idea of making this. I bought enough thinking, okay, this is what it should be enough to make it. I saw that they had a green, so I was like, it could be that, and it can be my Christmas jumper or Christmas cardigan. And that's still what my plan is. So I'm going for it. I need to get a few more things done, but I'm definitely gonna do a few of these rows. Definitely. It is uneven knitting because you'll see. Not everything is super even, which I don't mind. It is knitted with an unspun yarn that is not super even. And as you try not to pull, but sometimes it gets a little thinner in some places, and I don't mind. I think it's gonna be a quite interesting piece, and I'm excited. I love my Guru shawl that I wear. It is so warm. That one was done with 2 strands, so it was a bit easier. It makes a huge difference having to do it with 1 strand, but I also wanted to push myself to try something new and to do something a bit different, and I don't mind. So here's I made it into 2 balls because for what I could read in the pattern, which I didn't read too much ahead, I'm kind of just focusing on the ribbon right now, and it's quite a big ribbon, and as you can guess, you do it top up, and I'm making the extra large size. So it's almost like a mystery, like whether will it work, will it be because it wasn't written for Nutiden. So, and this is my first time kind of adapting that yarn to a pattern that's written with other kind of yarn, and it's my first time using Nutiden like that. I know other people have done it, and I've done it with many other projects. I don't use the recommended yarn that the pattern tells you. I just try to match the gauge and the weight of the yarn, but very few times I can actually use exactly the yarn that the designer used. So I think the whole reason I said that is because I think in the pattern, when you do the color work part, you're using 2 different balls, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't read it that much ahead. I will be working on this tonight, and hopefully I'll be able to finish. I'm kind of excited to make that happen. So that was my Juniper. Then I did do a bunch of I took about 3 nights or so. I go to bed late, so let's not talk about that, but I did do it in 3 nights. I picked up my Chestnut again. So if you know, that was a bag that I made myself, and this one is from Blue Rabbit House. Yep, the Blue Rabbit House, and I love this bag. This is my Chestnut that's in here, and I finished the back, the whole back. It is all done. So if you were here last time I showed you, and I was down here, I kept the progress keeper right here. I even moved Dad while we were talking, right? And then 3 nights I was like, let's go. I did the shaping of the shoulders and the neck and the arms, and in the back it's done, and I love it. So let's take out that progress keeper, because after I finished that, we were at my in-laws house and I cast on, oh boy, the left front panel, and that's how much I have, and I haven't been able to touch it, which breaks my heart because I love working on this, but it's okay. It's not a raise. It is, you know, my hands are itching to go and work on this, because I'll put it right here, because I love this so much. And color work is just, I enjoy knitting, and I want to say maybe I'm a process knitter. That's what I meant. I think I'm a process knitter more than a finish object knitter. What is it called? I enjoy the process, whatever. I enjoy the process. But I also like the project, like the end product. Oh, that's what it is. Process or product knit. Words. But I also like to, I make things because I want the end product. So I don't like to put myself in boxes. So I don't know, but I do enjoy the process. And I like all kinds of knitting, and all brings me so much joy. I mean, I made so many socks and I was still happy knitting. But when I do color work every time, I'm like, oh, I love this. But then when I do cables, I'm like, oh, I love this. I just love knitting so much. It's too many things. So that is how much I have. It's going to be on the left front panel. And because it is okay to point out mistakes, let's talk about a mistake I made. And it is not very visible, but let me tell you about it, because I think it's important to show that sometimes we make mistakes. Some of them are worth frogging or taking back for, and that is a personal decision. What I think that it's okay, it's something that I'm willing to do to go back for. It's not what somebody else may think. But there's no point of thinking that knitting has to be perfect. It is okay for it to not be perfect. So I noticed the mistake. Let me tell you what it is. So it's all the way down here. That's why I did not go back. This line right here, I did it all with this kind of orangey color, but that line was supposed to have the chestnut color, which is a little bit darker. I know it's like super hard. I might do a close-up maybe. Let me show you. So this is how it's supposed to be. This is the kind of orangey color, and this in the middle is the chestnut color. And down here I made it all with the orangey color. Is that a big deal? No. First of all, it's on the back. When did I notice? It's when as you can see, this is a repeat. To here, it's a whole pattern repeat. This, and then you go up again and you do it again. I didn't notice until I was on this one, because that's when I was like, oh, I don't think I did last time. And I went down and looked and was like, oh, I made a mistake. I was not about to rip back the whole entire pattern repeat all the way to here just so I could fix that, when no one, I don't think, would ever notice. When I told my husband, I was like, I made a mistake, and I told him, I was like, can you find it? And I gave him like this whole thing. He's like, how in the world would I be able to find it? When I told him what it was, and he's like, yeah, no, I couldn't see it. And I'm totally good with it. It's gonna be on the back, and you can't notice, and it almost looks like it could be intentional too. Now I had the choice of doing the front panel like that too, you know, like this first one on the back panel. I could have made it, you know, wrong, and then the next one, but I decided not to. I was like, oh, I'll make it right. No one cares what that back one is gonna have, and it's fine. No worries here whatsoever. This is a fun pattern. It is not hard. It looks hard. It looks hard because it is a lot, because it takes a little bit of concentration, because, you know, it's a lot of different colors. But what I tell people, it's not impossible. You just take one stitch at a time, one stitch at a time, one line at a time, one row at a time. And then you realize it's only working with 2 colors. Yes, there is purling in color work, but I think that's another stigma that because people are always talking in all these podcasts, and like everyone wants to do it on the run, which, you know, of course it is a little bit faster. There's a stigma of thinking, oh my goodness, this is so hard, because I think enough people have said it is so hard. But purling with color work, it's pretty much the same. Now, when you have to catch floats, it is a little bit more fiddly, but this pattern only has it a few times. There's only a few times that you have to catch a float, and not enough to stop you from enjoying it. I can still go quite fast with this, and I have a whole system of how I do it, because the chart is huge, and if you look at the chart, then you're like, oh my goodness. But if you break it down in small pieces, then it makes a lot of sense. Now I need to figure it out if there's any way that I could like maybe record a video of me talking on how I read the chart and how I make it easy for me to read the chart. But it is a paid for pattern, but the chart is in her website for everyone to see without having to pay for it. So I wonder if I can still give you kind of like how to read the chart without having to tell you any of the stuff for the pattern. So I still have to kind of figure that out. I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, if the chart is out there available for anyone to see, can I still talk about the chart? I wouldn't be talking about any numbers specifically. I wouldn't be talking about the pattern part specifically, but I kind of want to, I found a way how it makes so much sense to me, and I can watch TV and make this at the same time. I can't read books because watching TV, I don't have to be paying attention the whole time or like looking down the whole time. But I can still do TV knitting and podcast knitting with this. I found a way that it's comfortable for me, and also a way to minimize, because when I first saw this chart, it was like, where do I even start? How do I even do this? And I would love to make a video to kind of to anyone who wants to make this, or any of Marie Wallin's knits, and it's like, wow, this is too complicated, I can't do it. I think you can. I think you can do it. I'm not saying this should be your first color work sweater. Oof. I'm not saying it needs to be your first one, but I don't see why you can't jump to this. Oh gosh, the fluff flew. I saw it flying and it went in my eye. Yeah, a few episodes ago, I did talk about all the yarn. I'm not going to go through it again. Maybe at the end when I finish, then I'll tell you all about it. But so far, perfect. Using Jamieson and Smith, it's wonderful. And all the colors are, I do believe I made a project page on Ravelry. So if you go to my projects, then you'll be able to see all the different colors that I chose instead of the ones that Marie Wallin calls for. I'm going to have to pause it and go check my app. Oh, I got it out. It was like right there. Yeah, it was so hard to see. So yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on the chestnut. It is absolutely fun. It is so addicting. I want to keep going and keep going and keep going, and my hands are dying to go back to it. But I also want to make other things. So I think this is a struggle of all of us makers out there. Too many things, too little time, and taking care of our hands too is important. So that is what I want to say about the chestnut. I am entering that one in a year of Marie Wallin Cal that my friend Nikki from Knitting with Cat Hair, it is hosting. It lasts a whole year, and I believe it started in August, so it goes all the way to this next August to 2022. So I will have that done for sure. My plan is to have that done before the winter it's over, so I can actually wear it, and I can totally do it. I have no doubts. I just need to get other projects out of the way. All right, so let's talk about the last. It is a new cast on, and it is something that it's almost like somewhat of an experiment, and I want to see how this goes. So, okay, so a friend of our family, when I went to my cousin's baby shower, she was there, and she wanted me, well, she asked me, and she knows that I don't really sell my knits. I have before, not consistently, but I have before. I have made things and sold, but I've always found it hard because one, it kind of takes away the joy of knitting for me a little bit, and two, people usually don't want to pay what something is truly worth, and I don't want to undervalue my time, my efforts, my craft, just because somebody wants something that I can make. And you know, so I've said so many times now, but for her, I was like, you know what, I'll do it for you. And I did tell her that no promises when it'll be done. So even though it kind of has a deadline, the deadline is very flexible, and it will change if I need to change it, because I have so many other things that I want to get done. Like my Juniper jacket is priority right now, but I did want to cast this on and I wanted to see how this was going. So, you know, I have made this pattern before, but never in the side. So this is the Anker's jacket. I think that's what they call it. No, Anker's cardigan. I think Anker's jacket is for the little ones. And this is my size. So it is the adult size, but it is the girl adult. She has an Anker sweater that is for like her husband. I think it's called boyfriend size or something. And it is for men. And I guess I could have done that one and I could have sticked it. But I like the fact that this one, the button bands are knit with the pattern instead of having to stick it and then put button bands. Well, it doesn't matter. I decided to do that and just make a bigger size. I haven't read ahead, but I don't think there's any shaping on the body. And if there is, I just won't make it. And I'll omit that. And this is a very, this is a pattern that really is unisex, I think. But here's the thing. I think it uses DK weight. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on yarn because because it's already it's gonna be a lot of money. She did say I'll pay whatever, right? And she knows that it's not gonna be cheap because my time, it's money, right? But because of that, I didn't want to also spend so much in the yarn. It's gonna be for her son, and I want to say he's like 15 years old. He's not super tall. He's like a normal size boy, young man. And so yeah. But here in the United States, finding DK wool at the store, like impossible. There's nothing. And I could have ordered from Knit Picks, and that was a thought. I was like about to order from Knit Picks, but that was going to be more expensive. So I figured, well, I'm going to go with Fisherman's wool from Lion Brand. I have used this wool before. This is 100% wool. We have Patons wool, like they have in this worsted weight. And then this. These are pretty much the only two options that are in the store. Maybe if I went to their website and maybe try to order something there. But I had coupons. This is 100% wool. I really look like how this knits up. But it is worsted. The pattern calls for DK, which, you know, it's not that big of a difference, but it is. So I did change my needle size. I swatched. I measured my swatch. I did a few calculations and I came up with what the garment needs to end, but I'm knitting a different size. So this could be a complete flop and it could end up not working at all. And if it doesn't, it'll fit one of my kids and I'll just have to start another one. Not a big deal. At the end of the day, it's not that big of it. Or I could completely frog this. Also not a big deal, right? In reality, if it fits one of my children, then it'll go to my kids and I'll just make something else and I'll come up with another pattern. I just really wanted to make this pattern. When she asked me to make him a cardigan, I got to choose the color and I got to pick the wool. I got to pick. She gave me free reins on everything. She said, you pick the pattern, the color, the wool. It's just for my son. You know him. And, you know, it's like, okay. So I have pretty much free reign. So if this doesn't work, I can make something else. But I'm kind of curious to see if it will work. If the calculations were right or if I need to tweak something else. I'm not really sure. So I am making it on US 6, which is a 4mm. And it gives you a dense fabric, but not terrible. It doesn't hurt my hands. And this is such a fan pattern. If you haven't made any of the Ankers, you know, it has this really, this yoke that everyone sees and they know exactly what pattern you're knitting. And I still have a little bit more to go. So obviously There's not much you can see because it's, yeah. And it will block bigger too. I just don't know. I'm like, is it gonna be too small? Is it gonna fit? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna, do I have enough yarn? I mean, I can go buy more. It's all a mystery, and she hasn't paid me, you know, and she will pay me. Like, this person I trust, so that's why I didn't ask her to pay me ahead of time. And if everything else fails, I can always say, you know what, I couldn't do it. It was too, you know, she won't hate me. She will understand. So that's kind of why I'm going. I want to keep working on that. I also want to work on my Juniper. Those are kind of like the two things that are calling my name. And I'm almost done with Christmas knitting. A hat, a pair of socks, maybe a pair of socks for my husband. That is a maybe. I do love him, and I think he would be so happy with a pair of Christmas socks. So let's move on to acquisition, so I can also talk about future knitting, because that there's definitely some. Let's talk first about actually a giveaway that I'm doing today, because we hit 3,000 subscribers, which is a like, it's just, I was so surprised when the 3,000 got there. We're almost approaching 1 year. When I went into this last December thinking I would have 3,000 subscribers the next December, I mean, I went in with almost no expectations. I was like, if anybody subscribes, I'm gonna just be happy. So the fact that we have almost 3,000 and we're almost there, it is so exciting. So the giveaway is, I'm gonna give away 3 patterns. I'm gonna give away the school run hat, mitts, and headband. All 3 of them to one lucky winner. The thing you have to put in the bottom is, what are your favorite traditions that you do during Christmas time or holiday time if you do not celebrate Christmas? During this time, I think is so special to have traditions, things that we enjoy doing. And yeah, I just want to hear what you have to do or you like to do. I am thinking of doing Vlogmas, and I'll talk more about that at the end, but I haven't decided yet. I still haven't decided, and it starts tomorrow. So I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but let's move on to acquisitions, and I will pick a winner the next time I podcast, which my plan is towards the end of the year, because I also want to do another giveaway there where is our 1 year anniversary. So I'll give the winner for the next one, and then we'll do another giveaway. And that's kind of like, it will be my birthday / anniversary of the podcast. So we'll do another giveaway at the end of December. So you have, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe. I'm not exactly sure when, but I want to record after Christmas. So 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks or so, maybe a month. So let's move on to acquisitions. Last time, actually, I had some acquisitions that I forgot to mention. So these are not just bought. They were sitting here. That's the funniest part. They were sitting right here. And after I finished recording and I was editing, I saw them. I was putting away everything, and I was like, oh, I didn't talk about them. So the first one is this. Isn't this so cute? So from Candy Shop Yarns, you know, I like her stuff. She made one for, this is almost like a bonbon case, but it's these tiny minis. This was totally splurged because, I mean, I don't need tiny minis, but I saw this and I wanted it. So isn't that cute? She's also doing one for winter. I don't know if it's already on sale or if they sold out, because I told myself, you're not buying any more, you do not need more. But look at these colors. They're so cute. These will be perfect for socks, like little accents. That's my favorite. So cute. All right, so that was one. The other one, what's this? The Mondim from Retrosaria Promar. Now, this one I'm super interested in trying because these are Portuguese yarn and it is 100% wool. There is no, these are their sock yarn, but it doesn't have any nylon. So I'm excited to try them out. It's hard to see if it doesn't smell too, that woolly. I'm sure they will when they get wet, but sometimes you can smell the dyes on them more than anything else. It is made in Portugal. I bought it through the Woolly Thistle, and I'm still trying to decide which socks I want to make. I either want to make the Grow socks by Fiber Tales, and because I do have that pattern, I haven't made it and it'll match my Grow shawl, or I want to actually try one of the socks patterns from 50 Weeks of Socks, which that could be another option. Haven't decided yet, but I have so many other things to make that this will be 2022 makes. And lastly, well, not lastly, this was from last time, I finally bought a cone from the Woolly Thistle, and this is a Jamieson & Smith. The woolly smell of this, it's so good. My dog went crazy when she smelled this. For days, she kept trying to like go near it because it smells so sheepy, which I love. I know some people don't like that smell. I love it so very much. So very much. So this color is shade 202, and it's like, as you can see, it's very cute. It's kind of like an oatmeal color, and it's 500 grams. And for all you, my UK friends, well, first of all, you guys can go to that other website and not even get Jamieson & Smith. You can get those British Wools cones, and they were on sale for like $13.50. Yeah, 13 pounds, which still super cheap for us. But I don't know exactly. Well, one, I told myself I wasn't gonna buy anything, and two, I don't know the shipping and how much it'll cost. These are not very light, and I'm sure those ones are not super light either. So I got this from the Woolly Thistle. I've been wanting to, but they've been out of stock forever, and I've been wanting to get one of these for months, but they hadn't brought any. So when they finally brought some, she let us know in the email, and I was like, if I don't get any now, they'll be out of stock for who knows how long. And I really do want a cone. But now, UK friends, don't cry. This cost me more than $50 to get this cone. So that's why I only got one. Otherwise I would have gotten more because there's very many pretty colors. But yeah. And if I get it through Jamieson & Smith, I think by the time that you pay taxes and the shipping, it ends up being about the same. So it's not like I'm really, I don't know. One of these days I will try that other website that Rebecca from Kroy uses, because, you know, one of these days I might just go in and just do a big order and swallow that shipping, because I still think I'll still pay less than $50 a cone. So yeah, not sure what I have some ideas for this, but not 100%. I don't know yet. I also know that right now, my friend Ode from Bobbles and Berries, she is making a no-frill sweater with a cone. She's making it with a beautiful orangey color, which is actually this one. This orangey color. She just has it in cone. And she's making her no-frills with a cone that she bought in Scotland. So she would probably know how much she paid for hers. It was not 50 pounds or $50. So, and I forgot to tell you what the color of this one is. It's 305. And it's like a beautiful mossy green. Oh, I love this kind of green. So those were things that I bought like 2 months ago, and they came last month. So now let's talk about things that I also bought a long time ago, but they came while from the last podcast. So first, look what finally made it here. So let me take this out of it. Oh, let me take the things out of it first. And I have been using this to make and transport all the socks that I've been making ever since I got here. So my friend Ode from Bobbles and Berries, she embroiders and makes these bags. But this one was a special one. This was from the, oh man, what was it called? Well, it was a special one. I pre-ordered this back in September. So, and she did it with Edelweiss Fibers. Is that how you say it? Edelweiss Fibers, who is a hand dyer in Scotland. And oh, that's what it's called. It's the festive sock set. And they did a collaboration. So you got the bag and this, and it was a pre-order. So it finally came, I want to say at the beginning of November. No, the end, a few weeks ago, maybe two weeks ago, maybe that's what it was, 2 weeks ago. And so this was not a purchase that I made recently, but I have been waiting for it, and it's beautiful. It has like stellina and a mini, but it's 20 gram mini, and it's 100. So this actually knits up really pretty. I've seen people knit it up, and this is absolutely stunning. Her work is impeccable. If you see any fuzzies, it's because it has been moved and taken places, but her work is just beautiful. You did beautiful, Ode. So yes, I've been wanting one of her bags. So when this became an opportunity, I jumped to the chance, and I'm so excited to knit this up. This is gonna be a Christmas sock. So yes. And because Ode is the sweet person that she is, I opened my box that day and I was like, there's more things. First of all, she knows how much I like the Highland cows from Scotland. So if you've seen these Highland cows, I love them so much. I actually have, I will put a picture up. I have a picture in my dining room of one of them because how much I love them. And she says that every time she sees one now, because I said it on Instagram a while back, and she says that every time she sees one, she thinks of me, which was so sweet. And this is a beautiful handmade, like it's a card with recycled paper, by Brooke Mary. It's beautiful. Brooke Mary illustrations. And it is so cute. They're so cute. They're my favorite. And then she sent me a beautiful, adorable progress keeper. I hope it's not blurry. With a little cow, which is so cute. I was so touched. Let me see what it's called. Originals. They do have an Etsy shop. I'll try to link them below actually, if in case. So I mean, when I opened it, I was like so confused, and then I saw her card and I was so touched. I almost cried. I'm a crier. So because she also sent me, now it used to look much prettier and it was like super nicely caked up, but my dog found it, and this morning she loves yarn just as much as me. But isn't this beautiful? It's called Ginger Twist Studio, and she said that this was from her local yarn shop, and this color is so beautiful. It's like an orangey, also reminds me like a crimsicle. And so yeah, so it is from Ginger's hand dyed sheepish sock, and it is 80 blue face Leicester, which I love blue face Leicester, and 20% nylon. So this will become probably a pair of socks. Yeah, that's what it's. The color is called Ginger Coo, maybe? Is that the cow's names, maybe, or gingeroo, or I can't read. So it's so beautiful, and I was so I mean, of course I said already thank you to her, and it's just my heart is so full, and it was so sweet, and I was so happy, and I can't wait to knit that up because I also love BFL. I love the way it feels, and I love knitting with it. And what's the last bit? Oh, I have two more things, but first is that I ordered in the November, well, for patrons it was the end of October, I think the 30th of October, and it was like the fastest I've gotten my Nutiden ever. I only ordered one color. I ordered 700 grams of this color that is called Parallel, and it's like a pinkish purplish color, kind of like all the colors I like apparently. And I'm so excited. This one does have a project and is so soft. This one is actually softer than any of the other ones that I've bought. Yeah, it's softer. Oh, I just love this yarn. And I'm gonna make Tulk by Albiona. So I will put a picture of what I want to make with it. And they always send you like a little bit. So this was one of the other colors. I can't remember the name, but it's like a nice gray. And I always save these because it's perfect for like color work. If I ever do a color work, I have a few little bits that they send you. So I'm only showing you one, but there's 700 grams of this. And I'm excited. That's gonna be a 2022 cast on for sure, or it might be like a birthday cast on. I don't know. And the last thing, as you saw at the beginning of my channel or the episode, you probably saw that it said paid promotions, and I will always tell you when somebody has given me something to show you on the podcast. Now, gifts is different. This is not a gift. I mean, it is a gift, but it's not a gift per se. Like, I wouldn't consider this a paid promotion. She didn't ask me to show it in the podcast. This was a gift from a friend, just her being so kind. But I was contacted by Row One, which is it is a subscription box here in the US, and it comes like in a little baggie, so it came like this. And there will be some rustling, but as Cherie from Ollie and Bella says, the rustling means there's something fun inside or something like that. She always says that. It's so cute. So yeah, she contacted me and said, would you like to try it out, or just will you like me to send it to you so you can look at it, and then if you want to, you can talk about it in your podcast. And I said, sure, I will. You know, I have many people who like subscriptions, and I had never heard of Row One. So this ones are the Carnival of Color kits, and it comes with 100 grams, but the 100 grams are separated into 10 minis. So you get 10 gram minis, if that makes any sense. So let me show you what comes in this. And the cool thing with this is that it is a different dyer every time, but you don't know who the dyer is. So it is a surprise dyer, it's a mystery dyer, and you get to try 10 of their colorways in minis. And actually these ones are gorgeous. Trying to decide what I'm gonna make with them. So these are some of them. Ugh, I don't even know if that's gonna give you too much of a glare. So I didn't want to open it because I wanted to show you what it all looked like. So it's so pretty packaged. But let me take them out. The dyer for November was the Red Pansy, I believe it's called. Yep. I lost one and it was like my favorite one. Oh, but it went really far. But this is my second one. This is called Marketplace. But let me show you. So they come individually wrapped and like wound up. And these are the different colors. There's actually, my hands may not be able to hold all of them. And then one more that fell. That it was like a pretty brown ginger color. Actually, all of these colors are gorgeous. I think this is my favorite. And they all come named. labeled by the name of the dyer and the colorway. So then if you want to contact them, I guess, then you can go to the Red Pansy and you can go see if they have like normal size skeins. If you order two, if you order 2 of the mystery boxes, they will be from the same dyer, but they will give you another 10 different colorways. So technically you could get 20 different colorways of minis. And I have a few minis now, and I'm gonna get, these ones are a little smaller than my Advent, but I did get my Advent. I forgot to bring it. That's the other thing I was gonna show you, which I also bought a long time ago. But let me keep going with this. And then in here, I also got, you get a piece of paper with the information from the dyer. It tells you a little bit about the dyer and also tells you the colorways. And then a sticker. And she also sent a recipe. So Laura is the person behind for row 1, sorry. So, and she gives you a little recipe. This one is for the best pumpkin bread. So I'm kind of want to try that now. I do like pumpkin things. Came with a little cookie. I love Biscoff cookies. A tea. Sweet Dreams herbal tea. Everything is falling from my hands. And it also came with a progress keeper, which is so cute because it is a mixer. Let me take it out so you can see it. It is like a KitchenAid mixer. That's what it looks like. So she said, will you like to see, oh my goodness, what did I do? Oh, will you like me to send you this so then your viewers can see what's available? And she told me that there is a code for your first purchase if you want to. I will write it below too, but I'll tell you in a minute. Let me show you the cute little marker. Hopefully that focus. But it's like a mixer. It's really cute. And yeah, so let me tell you what the code is. It's hello, capital 20, and you get 20% off your first box. And like she said, you don't have to mention it in the podcast. I'm just telling you here. I'm not telling you go buy it. I don't get anything if you buy it, actually. It's not an affiliate anything. This was me trying something new, finding out about brand new small business. So if you're interested in minis, I think this is fantastic. I think it gives you a chance to get to know a bunch of other dyers. The mystery of not knowing who the dyer is pretty cool. And then if you like creating things with mini skeins, scrappy projects, blankets, I think this is fantastic. And they're really cute. And I like how a lot of these actually kind of go together. Like these 3 colors go really well together. So yeah, so a lot of these you could put together in something and they go really well. So that is what I have to say about row 1. Let me go get my Advent. Actually no, because I'm thinking I'm gonna do, so I got my Advent from my friend Natalie. I paid for it. So this is, I'm done talking about something that I didn't pay for. It was just this one. They gifted this to me. And now I'm going to talk about my Advent. I did buy my Advent for my friend Natalie from Blush Yarns. And I really do like Blush Yarns. So she's from Canada. And she has her Advent. It is a 25 day Advent. And it comes all singly, like each colorway. I mean, each little color, it comes wrapped and numbered. This is my first Advent ever, so I don't really, I've never done this before. Kind of excited. I'm excited to figure out what I want to make with it. I don't know if I want to make, there's different things that I'm thinking of making, but I don't know yet. Comes with a project bag and a few other goodies. So I will, starting tomorrow, I get to open it, which I'm so excited. And yeah, so let's talk about Vlogmas. As you heard, I've had family in town. Then my brother's coming for 2 weeks and we are spending every moment with them. So here's my thing. I would love to do Vlogmas in the sense that I would love to share some of the things that I do during this time for fun, traditions, to get closer to Christ, all those things. I cannot do it every day. That is impossible for me. Well, it would take the joy out of all of this. So I wouldn't do it for a whole, like every single day. Now, what I'm thinking is that I will open my Advent with you guys. I will probably record some of the fun things that we do. But then again, I don't have such an interesting life that I would think anybody would want to see what I do every single day. So what I'm thinking is if we do Christmassy things during the week, I will record it and then try to put together a video. If I end up doing it, you'll find out by hitting the notification bell. So if you are a subscriber and you hit the notification bell, so there's a bell down here under my video. If you hit the bell and you put notifications, YouTube will say Little Monkeys and Me has uploaded a new video, and then you can get to watch it. If I don't upload anything, I will see you at the end after Christmas and I will talk to you then. Or I might show some things in my stories on Instagram. I still haven't decided. It all depends, because for me, family just comes first. As much as this is fun and I love talking to you guys, I love talking to you in the comments. I love that so many of you have found me on Instagram and we've become friends there, and this is so fun. But I don't want to promise something that I'm not going to give, and then I also don't want to put such pressure on myself that I am not enjoying what I'm doing, because I always tell my husband I will do the podcast for as long as it's fun, and I want to keep that. I want to keep it fun. So I will not make any promises. Like I said, I will record things and then I'll see, well, do I have enough to make a small video? I will try to put together something, because that's the other thing. We're not going to be home a whole lot. I'll be at my parents a lot with my brother and his kid and family. So I always edit in my desktop, which is at home, which means I would have to either edit on my brother's laptop or like at their house, and that's not fun, or edit in my husband's iPad or my phone, but it's even more complicated, I think, in the phone. I never really used the one on the phone because I've always done my desktop. So that's why I don't want to make promises. So it is a surprise. It's a mystery whether I will join Vlogmas or not. But I know that Laura from the Knit and Pickle, she's planning on doing Vlogmas, and I'm very excited. I think Alexandra from Fiberbound is thinking of doing it. I enjoy Davina from Little Workroom Crafts, and I know she's doing Vlogmas. So there's plenty of other people who will be doing Vlogmas, and if you follow me on Instagram, I might show things there too. So if I decide not to do Vlogmas, I might show a few things there, and I can make a highlight saying that it's Christmas 2021, and then people can go watch it even after Vlogmas is done. So that's kind of my thoughts on everything. I think I've said everything. Don't forget to join the giveaway, and so then you can get those beautiful patterns from Laura. And that's all I have to say. I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope if you do gift knitting, then I hope you get done and that those hands are going fast enough for all the things you need to knit. If you don't make things for people, that's okay. That is totally okay. I hope you're still enjoying your knitting. And I hope you have a blessed Christmas if you do celebrate Christmas. If I don't, because I won't see you podcasting at least till after Christmas. And whatever other celebration you celebrate, I wish you the best December. And I will see you later. Happy knitting. Bye.